Welcome back to Against the Cage. Scott Fontana here once again with Brandon Royval, who's set to headline the final UFC event on ESPN when he faces Manel Kape on Saturday at the Apex in Las Vegas. So listen, Brandon, obviously you've got a big fight coming up, but I think
Yes,
before
sir.
we get to that, we do have to talk about what
Last week's
unfolded
fights.
over the weekend. Yeah, it was kind of a weird situation, right? The flyweight championship is now around the waist of Joshua Van, Alexandre Pantoja, freak elbow injury. What were you thinking as you watched that unfold?
I wasn't really originally. I wasn't sure what happened, so then I watched the replay, and then I wish they stopped showing the replay. But yeah, I mean, I feel super bad for Pantoja. It looked like because they were saying shoulder, but it looked like it was elbow and shoulder, huh? Like, did you see the full injury of it?
So my understanding is that a lot of what had been communicated was that it was the shoulder, but then his team was saying it was the elbow, like we kind of thought it looked like. I don't know. It's really
Yeah.
going to come from them, right?
Yeah, so I dislocated like yeah, obviously I dislocated my shoulder on like national television, but I had shoulder issues and the first thing that like the how I started my shoulder issues, I fell exactly how he did. I posted and I fell and it like went and dislocated this way. But obviously his elbow had an issue too, so it's like it could be both, man. It really could be. I think the whole world heard shoulder issues from Megan Levy or whoever it was, but the whole world saw an elbow being dislocated out of place. So it's like an obvious elbow thing. So I don't know, it could be both. Either way, that's a tragic way to see how that fight ended. But and it looked like it could have been a great fight, huh? The first 10 seconds was wild.
Yeah, it was really fun, right? Obviously, it just didn't get going. We got 26 seconds of it, and then that was
Is that
the
what it
end
was?
of it.
26 seconds?
26 seconds. That's all
Jeez.
you got, dude.
Damn. That was a crazy 26 seconds.
It was pretty wild, yeah. But obviously, we didn't get that, and now Joshua Van does have that championship around his waist. He doesn't seem overly concerned with how he got it. He didn't do anything wrong. Obviously, it's just kind of the way things shook out. If you're in that position, I mean, is that how you're feeling too? Like, hey, I'm still the champion regardless of how it happened.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if there's like what because I've been asked a lot today of just like how he celebrates stuff. It's like, dude, I didn't know what happened. I watched it on TV from three different angles. There's no way he knew what happened. All he knew is Pantoja saying no and all the above. So it's like I don't know. I'm sure he had zero clue on what was going on. But is he still just saying that like he's like, oh, I won that fight kind of thing or what?
My what he seemed to be is more just like, hey, he feels bad for the way it happened, but he's the champion, and he's just kind of accepting, hey, I'm in the spot now. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't know how it feels to be honest. It's unfortunate. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
But
There's still time for that, Brandon.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So hopefully this opens up a lot of things. I go beat Manel Cape and I get my way to a title shot if they don't do the guy that I just fought recently for it.
Sure, sure. Exactly, exactly. And obviously, Pantoja he's going to miss some time. It's kind of obvious at this point. He's not going to be fighting right away. They're not going to be able to do an immediate rematch unless they wait to do any title fight in the interim. How do you see this fight with you and Cop coming up here in terms of the title picture?
I don't know. I feel like any fight that I'm in is borderline a title shot for me or my opponent. I know when I fought Moreno, they flew Pantoja out sat front row, and I know when I fought Tatsuro, they literally were like, "This is a title contention fight." And then same thing with the Van fight. It's just I don't know what happens if I win because every time I won one, it's like it wasn't for a belt, like and then like if Tatsuro would have beat me, I'm sure he would have fought for a belt. But I won that fight, and then Van obviously got a title shot when he beat me. So I don't know. Hopefully the situation's just I can change their minds, and we run back fight of the year and all the above. But I got to beat the shit out of Manal Kate first.
Is that how you change the minds? You beat the snot out of him?
Yeah, I'll beat the out of him, and then hopefully things go well after that.
And obviously, like you said, that Joshua Fan fight, that's the one that kind of came up when the last time you guys were booked fell apart. You had what basically was the fight of the year, for my money, that's what it was. I imagine in the minds of many. Can you appreciate being a part of a fight like that? Or is it more challenging for you because of the way the result went?
I've only watched it two times and just like in a very critical like what do I need to learn from this and like yada yada yada. And I think the obvious thing is Like the obvious thing was pretty easy to like what to learn from it. So that being said, is no, I never really watched it back and just enjoyed it that much. Honestly, I'm still just pissed at myself for a lot of things and upset on how I fought. But I would be lying to you if I said I didn't go in there with the mindset of I'm gonna try to box Joshua Van in the pocket the whole entire time. I very much was open about my game plan of what I wanted to do. Anybody can, I think I could fight anybody from distance, throw kicks, and stay long. Uh, I actively chose to go fight in the pocket and box him and fight him where he's best at. So, you know, that's how it is. Maybe we end up in the Hall of Fame or something of that for that fight. But if not, maybe I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Who knows?
But obviously, you've learned some lessons in there. You said you've watched it very critically. Is there anything you could share that you did learn from that fight?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's no reason to fight somebody in the pocket that where he's best at. It's like I've continuously done this of like I've engaged Tatsuro in the ground game when that was like his only chance of beating me is I go drop him and then I go try to grapple him and then to a certain extent same thing with Moreno is I brawled Moreno in the pocket and even to a certain extent I think I was trying to be in the pocket more than Moreno was at a certain extent. It's like he was running around and I'm trying to sit in the pocket and box him, and that's where I think he's the best at. Joshua Vanna went and fought him in the pocket, and like I said, even in these situations, besides maybe the van fight, and maybe not even in the van fight, it's just like what happens in the last 10 seconds. I think I was winning that fight up until the last 10 seconds where I got dropped, and maybe I would beat Joshua Van where he's best at. I beat Moreno where he's best at. I beat Tatsuro where he's best at. Maybe it shakes out well this next time. But yeah, I mean, that being said, is I think I'm a better martial artist than everybody in this division. I think I land spinning back elbows and then like I fought Kai Kara France, I landed a spinning back elbow and then he took me down and I had him to go plata. It's like nobody else in this division is doing cool shit like that. Like I'm the most well-rounded fighter in this division. I do the coolest shit. And I'm stubborn in my ways. And that being said, is that's why I didn't fight for a bout last weekend. Is I wanted to go fight a boxer in the pocket, and that's what I did.
I'm a big Go-Go Plata fan, by the way. Huge
Yeah,
fan.
yeah,
So
yeah.
keep that
Yeah,
up. Keep that up.
if I hit it, I'm retiring. I thought the same thing as I got Moreno to go playa, and I was like, oh, like he didn't defend it properly or anything, and I was like, I wonder if I could have finished it if I tried harder. I just used it to get up. As soon as I had it, he was choking a little bit, and I was like, oh, get up, get up, get up, get up, and you know, maybe I should have committed on that one.
Low percentage play, but maybe you could have had that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Low
But
percentage, high
anyway,
reward. I've been way sicker.
indeed, indeed. But obviously, this fight against Kape, it was, it was changed on short notice the last time, and obviously you guys were booked to face each other back in March too. You had your injury. Does it change kind of your level of comfort when you have to go into a fight like you did against Joshua Van, where there's a change to it relative to when you've got, months on the calendar like you have for this particular time you're facing Kape?
I had a really good game. Like I have a game plan for Cap Cop or whatever it is. I have a game plan for him. Like I've had a game plan for him for the last year. That being said, is when the fight came, my corner made a game plan for Van, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I told him I was like very open about it. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go fight him. Like I'm gonna go fight him head on. I'm gonna play him straight, and we'll see how it goes. That being said, is yeah, I had a game plan for Manel Kape, and I have a game plan for Manel Kape this fight too. So we'll see if it plays out. We'll see if I stick to it. I tend to get punched and just do what the I want to do. So we'll see what happens.
I was gonna say, do you like this game plan? Is that something you kind of like are comfortable in going
Yeah,
into
yeah,
this
yeah,
one?
yeah. I think this is what I think too. Is like a game plan's a game plan, no matter what. Is like I like the game plan, and there's been game plans that my corner drew out, where I knocked Mateus Nikolai out, and it played out perfectly to the T. That being said, is I'll fight Manel Kape straight on. This motherfucker has yet to be in a fist fight in the UFC. He's either beating the shit out of somebody or they're staring at each other and he's trying to be pretty and they're not engaging at all. It's like, I'm gonna engage every fucking chance I get to. This motherfucker will be in a fight. That being said, is if my game plan goes out the window and we get in a fist fight, I guarantee I'll be there longer than Manel Kape is. Fourth and fifth round, yeah, all day.
All right, all right. So, and obviously, you've had this on the calendar for a while, at least his name,
Yeah.
all year, basically. Is there
Yeah.
more excitement or relief that you're getting to this point where you finally get to face this guy you've been thinking about all year?
I think I just got really excited after last weekend of fighting. Just like, you know what? I'm good. Like, I watched Brandon Moreno just get destroyed on the ground against some dude who I thought, he had me in bad positions for sure, but I've also had his back at the end and like had him where he's best at. And it's like then I watch Van wins about however he wins is like, I think all that it shows or says is that I'm the best in this division. I'm better than everybody else, and I fight dumb sometimes. But that being said, is I just believe in myself more than all these other guys. Like I believe myself more than, and I just think I'm better than. Like I'm cooler than them. I can do cooler things. You know, it's lost me fights. But that being said, is I'm gonna go out there and beat the shit out of Manel Kape and remind the world who the I am. And I think I got dropped in the rankings from Moreno after I lost the Van fight. Like I'm three, so I don't know if I'll get dropped under Tatsuro and Moreno, who I currently hold fucking wins over both of them in the last year and a half. Both of them in a year and a half. I think Tatsuro was like a year ago, so it's like uh just remind people who the I am and that I am number one contender and I'm better than all these dudes and I'm better at even their games.
And coming in this fight, you've got about a 4 inch height advantage over Cop here. I think that a lot of the measurables in terms of arm and leg reach are pretty similar, but you're one of the bigger 125 pounders we have. Do you
Yeah.
feel more?
I,
Yeah.
I don't believe being like taller is better when someone has a reach advantage on you. Like I really just like if anything, I'm a bigger fucking target. So it's like one of those things. Like I'm kind of scrawny, and I know Manal Cape people call me a weight bully because I'm 5'9", but I woke up 136 pounds right now. I'm sure Manal Cape's in the 140s still. Um, so it's like I'm sure I'm gonna be the smaller in the opponent when the weight like when we weigh in and stuff like or like when the fight day comes. That being said, is if I don't have a height advantage or like a reach advantage or a leg reach advantage, and it doesn't necessarily matter that much being the taller opponent. It just shows I do better with the ladies, I guess. No, I'm just playing. Just helps out with the
Interesting.
girls a little
Interesting.
more. No, I'm just playing. But it's like
There you go. There you go.
I don't have that long of a reach advantage. Like I know Kai Kara France and Moreno both had a reach advantage on me somehow still. So it's like if anything, I think it's just like I'm a bigger target and maybe it'll help with the knees, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Now, obviously, after Cop, you'll have faced just about everybody in that top six flyweights beyond yourself. Amir Albazi as well, who you were originally booked to fight years ago.
Yeah.
What have you kind of learned about yourself just from testing yourself against all these other guys of your caliber in this weight class these last 5 years in the UFC?
Yeah. I think I've been in the top 10 of the division and more importantly, the top five of the division for the last like 5 years. It's like, I consistently have the most fight of the nights. I think I have the most bonuses in the division for the amount of time I've been there for sure. I might be tied with Pantoja, but I don't know. I just think I'm the sixth of the division. Like I really do. I think I'm better than all these guys. I think uh, I'm more, I don't know, and I'm more dangerous than all these guys. It's like, Manal Cape is one of the more dangerous opponents that you face in there. But that being said, is like I have so many ways to go take him out, compared to his one way. He's not submitting people. He's not doing any of that stuff. So he's either finishing them quickly or staring at him for 3 rounds.
Now, obviously, the last question I have for you actually is this. So I want to go back about 4 years ago. That was, I believe, the first time you and I had connected. You were talking about how long you'd like to be fighting. You mentioned MMA had done a number on your body back when you were only 29.
Yeah.
You had a lot of up and comers you wanted to see succeed. Today, what does 33-year-old Brandon think of how much longer he wants to keep competing?
I'm not really sure, man. I definitely just want to touch gold, bro. I want to touch gold more than anything. I feel like, once again, I just feel like I'm the better martial artist than all of them. And I feel like I just work my ass off. I've never met anybody who works as hard as me in this sport. I've been around fighters my whole entire life, and it's like one thing that I've never been, and I've been in a gym, and I just never felt like anybody outworked me and out hustled me and out loved this sport than me. And I believe that even about the up and comers, like these guys are, I'm sure some of them are hungry, but none of them can outgrind me, and I feel that to the fullest. And it's like, and I know Manal Cake's little pretty boy, fucking athletic ass isn't working harder than me at any day of the week. So I don't know. I just want to touch gold, and once that happens, I don't know what I want to do after that. But that being said, is that's what I want in my career. Is I touch gold, I'll be happy, and I can move on with my life and do all these other adventures. But I don't want anything different until then.